If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice.
This is what hard feels like. Did you expect it not to be hard? Did you expect this thing that you're trying to achieve not to be difficult? Every other person feels the exact same way. They also feel the hunger, they also feel the fatigue, they also feel the lack of motivation and the I've got to keep the business going and I've got to keep the relationship steady and I've got to do the rest of it. Every other person that you're competing with also feels this. So when you feel that, know that this is your opportunity to separate yourself out from the pack.
That's the point. Are you tired yet? But some of you need to get tired. You need to be tired of what's going on in your life.
You need to let discipline be your guide, not how you feel. That's what we need to do. And if you do that, you're gonna end up with freedom. You're gonna end up with freedom across the board. Discipline equals freedom. That's what I have been saying for a long time. It is 100% factually true. If you allow your feelings to dictate what you do, you will end up being a slave to your feelings at a minimum. But if you utilize discipline in your life, you will end up with the ultimate freedom in everything that you do.
So these are the 3 things you have to stop doing immediately. Number 1, stop regretting the past. Don't forget the past. Learn from it, but then get better so that you don't make the same mistakes again. Number 2, stop worrying about the future. Psychologists have found that 85% of what people worry about never happens. What a waste of your time and your precious energy. And then number 3, stop looking for your happiness in other people. Other people cannot and will not ever make you happy. Happiness is an inside job. You need to work on your own happiness and then bring that happiness to the world.
So you're one decision away from a different life. And you can make that decision any moment, any day. Like you could make a decision today that changes the trajectory of your life because a decision turns you in a different direction.
And never lose sight of the base core of your dream. You're not done yet. And a little patient. Not now does not mean not ever. And not this way does not mean not at all. Don't give up on your dream.
Hey, listen, let's be real. You won't always be motivated, but you have to learn how to be disciplined enough to keep going.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about? What do you want?
I love thinking about the quote, every guy essentially has 2 lives, and the second one starts once you realize you only have one. I like that a lot because it's so true. I mean, you've only got one shot at this, so you may as well at least make it kind of cool.
And that's what the great ones do. They marshal and harness their resources, their mental focus, their physical energy, their personal willpower, their individual gifts, their time, and they focus them on just a few things. And I want you to think about it in your life. You stripped away all the noise, you focused on the signal, you stripped away all the complexity, you got monomaniacally concentrated on just a few things. Of course, you'd be brilliant at those few things.
Everybody wants to feel like a winner. Everybody wants to feel like a winner. So how do you get the winning feeling? Simple answer, you win. Okay, how do you win? Well, you cross the finish line first. Now, fortunately in life, what successful people do, and I learned this after many years, it's so important, is they set up finish lines for themselves that they can cross. And so if you complete a task of any value, it's like winning a little bit, and you feel like a winner. You start, you work, you complete the task.
Silence the voice of doubt within you. Let your actions speak louder than your fears. Your dreams are built on the thoughts you choose to believe.
90% of your self-doubt is the result of a lie, that you overestimate the degree to which other people are noticing or observing your actions or behaviors. It's called the spotlight effect. It says that we think everyone is looking at us and focusing on us, when in reality, everyone is just focusing on themselves. No one is looking at you. No one really cares about the things you're doing because they're just concerned with themselves. So it's a reminder, there's no one to impress. You don't have anyone to impress with your actions or decisions or the things that you're doing. The only person you need to worry about impressing is yourself. So remember that the next time you're paralyzed by inaction, the next time you're paralyzed by self-doubt, no one really cares about you. That should be liberating. That should encourage you to live according to your values, your principles, to just be you.
The bloodline breaker is you. It's any person, you're qualified to be one, and so am I, and I don't care what anyone else says, that decides they want to break the generational curses and the crap and the shit they've had going on in their family, genes, and bloodline. It's gonna take you getting pissed off. It's gonna take you getting stirred up. Grab the rearview mirror, point it in your direction. Is that who you're supposed to be? If it's not, you can make a decision today to be the bloodline breaker in your family, and I promise you, you can literally curve history just by waking up at this moment.
Life's not fair. There is plenty of uncontrollable luck that deeply impacts our lives. Where we are born, who we are born to, and the circumstances of our early childhood all have an outsized impact. Bad people win and good people lose, all the time. But within that dark context, there are bright spots. The opportunity playing field is leveling. The world may never be truly fair, but it will always belong to those who make the most of what they have before them. Be grateful for what you have and make the most of today.
I want to make sure everybody knows that they're enough. No matter what they go through, what they've been through, that they are enough. The number one cause for anything is people not knowing that they're enough. They feel like they're not enough. Just because you have some bad chapters doesn't mean your story can't end well. And every story has bad chapters. It's about you finding strength to turn the page. And so hold on to that in your struggle, in your journey, in your pain, and then turn your pain from your worst enemy to your best friend. Do that. Use pain on to use you.
Time and consistency is a powerful combination because the passing of time is already an absolute. And now it's up to you to do a little bit every day. Just understand that doing a little is not hard, but you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. And whether you choose to do it or not, the time will pass anyway.
If you aren't willing to give it your all, if you're not willing to go 110% and just to give up, you're doing nothing but wasting your time. Understand that the path to success is not going to be easy. You're going to suffer. You're going to face hardship. There are going to be days where you don't feel like moving forward. But if you're able to push through it, if you're willing to give it everything you've got to achieve your goals, you will achieve success. If you acknowledge that the path is going to be easy, but are willing to commit yourself to giving it your all, to giving it 110%, I guarantee that you will achieve your goals.
Don't quit. You've come so far already. Look back at the beginning. See how much ground you've covered. It wasn't easy, right? But you did it.
I'm all about perspective because I truly believe if you change your perspective, you can change your life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. How you view what you do impacts and affects how you do what you do. Perspective is everything. You can either look at mistakes and mess-ups as hindrances and roadblocks, or you can look at mistakes and mess-ups as opportunities and ways to grow and learn, right? And when you shift your perspective, the way that you navigate those things, the way that you deal with them, the way that you go through them, changes drastically.
Up more than you can chew, and then chew like hell. All of your growth will come from pushing beyond your current limit.
And life is tough sometimes, but you are making it. And that there is a reason that you are going through what you're going through. Wherever you are in your life is where you're supposed to be. And it's part of your journey. And I believe, that this all ends really, really well. It can be tough right now. It all ends really, really well.
We say we want to get better. We say we want to learn about this or that. We say we want to make a change. We say we've decided to get serious. But is this true? Stoics had an expression, acta non verba, deeds, not words. So it's ironic that most of us say we want to make these improvements, but we can't or won't do the bare minimum.
In life, you either change intentionally or you change by crisis happening in your life. Most of the time we change because of a girl broke up with us, somebody ripped us off, you got backstabbed, you lost everything. You change because shit hit the fan, right? The guys that change intentionally, you're almost like, but he's not the same. You don't see him for 6 months. And he's changed again. If you can change intentionally without crisis happening to you, you're ahead of everybody by 99% of people you're ahead of. It's not even a question.
Those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. You have to take the risk.
It always looks impossible when things change. It always feels impossible when that thing ends. It feels so impossible. But only when you keep telling the old story. Because in the old story, you can't see the vision. You can't feel it. In the old story, you'll do the old actions and you can't imagine a better future, but that's your job. Job one, each day bring the best of who you are and move in the next right direction of integrity for you. You don't have to know all the steps. Move in the next right direction. Always be moving in the right direction of integrity for yourself. And if you can do that faithfully over and over and over again, you keep growing. If you stop growing, you just got stuck in an old story, stuck in an old pattern, stuck in old thoughts and concerns and worries. And of course, mired in that, you can't see and you can't move.
And we're just focusing on getting to the finish line. We end up underappreciating and really disrespecting the process of where we're at right now. And sometimes where you're at right now, there might be a low, and that's why you're looking to the finish line so much. But that low is a weakness, and we should be patient in that weakness because there's an opportunity to learn and grow right there. You never grow from crossing the finish line because that's where we grow, develop, evolve, get better. But it's so easy that when you're in the hard, you just want the easy. So it's tough, but learning how to truly be patient in that weakness, I believe it's a hard thing to do, but it is transformative.
If you just focus on, okay, every single day I'm just trying to be the best I can in that day. It's not about being perfect. Like we always say, progression over perfection. Every single day I'm just trying to get up and be the best I can for that day. And I'm gonna keep on doing this over a long period of time. What do you think will happen? If you do that for a long period of time, I'm talking 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, what do you think will happen? Where do you think you will be? Every single day, you just try to make the most out of that day. One step at a time, one moment at a time, 1% at a time. Think about where you'll be.
Whether it is a missed opportunity, a breakup, a stupid decision, an embarrassing mistake, or simply just an unfortunate event, there's something in your past that is continuing to weigh on you. And it is seriously affecting the way you're able to simply operate on a day-to-day basis. Why is that? And how do you fix it? But before we even get to that, you must understand one simple thing. Your past is your story. And the reality is, eventually this dark shadow that continues to haunt your mind will eventually become the very stepping stone that brings you closer to the version of yourself that you strive to be.
World will see you as you see. People think that the world sees you a certain way and that that's how you are, and then you have to change it. That's not how it works. When you see yourself a certain way, the world respects that and sees you that way as well. And that goes for your habits, your lifestyle, or anything that you're trying to work on. We create the image that the world accepts, and other people think that the world tells us what to be. And I think there is two classes of people, right? You have a class of people that understand, like, no, f you, I'm gonna become what I want to become. And that's the small percentage. And the rest of the percentage, the world tells them no 3 or 4 times. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna take my place over here and be little and be small and live small, and just be a regular person. And, then they're like, why is my life like this? Well, bro, because you're not seeing yourself as the way you should be. And if you can't see yourself that way, then you need to build yourself into someone who can see that.
Some days, it's not about having all the answers or making huge strides forward. Some days, the win is just showing up. You don't need to be at your best every single day to make progress. You just need to stay in the game. Progress is made in the moments that you keep going when your mind is telling you to stop. Don't overthink it. Just show up for yourself today, one step at a time.
Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're gonna figure it out.
It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. I know plenty of people that are capable. I know fewer people that are willing.
Don't let any experience that you've ever had in your life act as a brake on your potential, because there's hundreds of thousands of people who've had it worse than you could ever dream of, who've gone on to accomplish wonderful things.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good, then you like it, then people ask how you found your passion. Answer: by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
Who determines when it's up for you?
When we say this cannot be accomplished, this cannot be done, then we are shortchanging ourselves.
And look, I'll be the first one to tell you, there were a lot of days where I did not want to get out of bed. And I guarantee you, if I ask the question here, if everybody is excited to get out of bed every single day, if I saw a hand, I'm going to blatantly call you a liar. But if you have those little small goals, those little small things that get you excited when you don't want to, it's going to make it even better and even easier at the end. It's going to make it so much easier. And I think if you look at the greats in anything that, in any walk of life, the greats do things when they don't always want to. And that's the separation.
You don't seem to understand. Your success is not a matter of chance. It is not a matter of if you're skilled enough, or strong enough, or even brave enough. Let me ask you a question. Where exactly do you think this vision you have for your future comes from? And not only that, but the desire to go and pursue this vision. Do you truly think that something so pure could just stumble its way into existence? I don't think you do. In fact, I know that you feel otherwise. This relationship that you have with this vision for a better you, a better life that fulfills you, is intimate. That raw feeling, nothing so pure could ever be a total accident.
Every single morning when you wake up, you repeat to yourself, in every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. You have to consciously reprogram your subconscious mind to decode and deconstruct the self-limiting beliefs, the self-doubts, the ideas and the opinions of other people that have negatively impacted you and have held you down your whole life.
If not you, then who, bro? I'll tell you what your problem is, bro. You don't think highly enough of yourself. You don't really believe you're capable to do it. Well, there's a million other motherfuckers that wish they could have your spot, and yet you're taking yours for granted. I'll ask you again. If not you, then who? Nobody, bro. Nobody. Take care.
Every single great thing that's ever been created in the history of the world was created by a human being. And guess what you are? You are a human being, just like them. You have access to more information, to more skill set, to faster learning than anybody who has ever existed before you in the history of Earth. So what is it about you that makes you incapable compared to everybody else? And I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is nothing. The answer is the belief and your ability to achieve and become things that nobody you have ever seen in your own universe has done. And that is our limiting belief.
But the only way for you to continue to evolve and to really step into everything that is meant for you, you have to be willing to embrace the discomfort of something that you have to. You have to be willing to embrace the discomfort of leaving what's known. But understand that those feelings and those emotions aren't because you can't do it. It's because you're stepping into something that is not the norm, and that is gonna bring you feelings of discomfort. That's gonna bring you sometimes frustration and a lack of clarity, right? And sometimes feelings of anxiety and like, I don't know. Trust it. All those emotions are just signs that you're stepping out of your comfort zone into something new that isn't known, and that is very uncomfortable. But it's a part of the process. It's a part of shifting into a more aligned, authentic version of yourself.
The human brain cannot comprehend the negative. It is incapable. Can I tell the human brain not to do something, right? And so what happens is we very often reinforce things when we put things in the negative, right? I can't get apart. I can't do this. Versus, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this, right? It's the same thing for you. If you focus on the obstacles, all you will see is obstacles. If you focus on the path through the trees, all you will see is path through the trees. It's your choice how you choose to perceive your own career. It's literally perspective.
If you give your all every day, your gifts will make room for you. And it's like having a knowingness that things are going to be fine. And then there's the next level, which is you start to know who you are. You're not trying to prove it to yourself or other people. It's the difference between what I would call push motivation and pull. Push is, I'm going to make this happen. And it takes tremendous willpower. And I know you have plenty of willpower, I do as well. But there's a limit to willpower. But there's no limit to pull. Pull is when there's something magnificent that you want to serve, something that you got an obsession for. You don't lose that energy, you don't lose those components, and you're able to laugh and enjoy along the way.
The fear is never reaching your potential. That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man and you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Life has a way of pulling you in every direction. We're told to fight, to push, to hustle for control over every detail, as if that's the only way to create the life we want. We cling to plans, to expectations, to the idea that if we just hold on tight enough, everything will go our way. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work like that. No matter how much you plan, no matter how hard you fight, there will always be things you can't control. And the more you resist, the harder life pushes back. What if, instead of fighting against life, you surrendered to it? Not in defeat, not in apathy, but in trust. Trust that even when things don't go the way you imagined, they can still go the way they're meant to. When you stop resisting, when you let go of the illusion of control, you find something unexpected. You find peace. You find clarity. You find freedom.
The illusion of control. We're taught to believe that control equals safety, that if we just plan hard enough, prepare long enough, and hold on tight enough, we can avoid pain, failure, uncertainty. But control is a myth. You can't control how other people act. You can't control what the world throws at you. You can't control the unexpected twists and turns that life will inevitably bring. What you can control is how you respond. Your mindset, your actions, your ability to adapt. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from the anxiety, the frustration, the constant battle against reality. You shift your focus to what really matters, your growth, your resilience, your ability to create meaning no matter the circumstances.
What does surrender really mean? Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop trying, stop caring, or stop putting in the effort. Surrender means releasing your grip on what you can't control. It means letting go of the need for life to look a certain way, and trusting that even if it doesn't, you'll still be okay. It's about flowing with life instead of fighting against it. About understanding that the storm you're in isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to shape you. And when you stop resisting, you give yourself the chance to grow.
Resistance is exhausting. It's the mental battle we fight every time life doesn't go the way we planned. It's the frustration, the anger, the endless cycle of, why is this happening to me? Letting go of resistance doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop wasting energy on things you can't change. It means accepting what is, so you can focus on what you can do next. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that's keeping me stuck? What would happen if I let it go? One of the hardest things to do is to fully accept where you are right now, especially if it's not where you want to be. But acceptance isn't about settling. It's about recognizing the reality of your situation so you can move forward with clarity and purpose. When you accept the present moment, you stop fighting against reality. You stop wishing things were different and start working with what you have. And in that acceptance, you find the freedom to take meaningful action.
Surrender isn't about passivity. It's about focusing your energy where it matters. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to grow, to adapt, to create something beautiful out of the chaos. Instead of wasting energy on what's out of your hands, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now to move forward? Even the smallest step can create momentum. Life doesn't always make sense in the moment. Sometimes it feels unfair. Sometimes it feels chaotic. But when you look back, you realize that the things that felt like detours were actually leading you to where you were meant to be. Trusting the process doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean everything will go smoothly. It means believing that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to grow, to learn, to create meaning from it. It means trusting yourself, your strength, your resilience, your ability to adapt.
When you stop trying to control everything, you find peace. Not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer wasting energy on battles you can't win. Letting go is freeing. It allows you to stop carrying the weight of things you were never meant to hold. It allows you to redirect your energy toward what truly matters, your growth, your purpose, your ability to live fully in the moment. Here's the paradox. The moment you let go of control, you gain it. Not control over life, but control over yourself. Control over your mindset, your emotions, your ability to move forward no matter what. Surrender doesn't mean giving up your power. It means taking it back. It means choosing to live fully, even in the face of uncertainty. It means finding freedom, not in controlling life, but in trusting it. The tighter you hold on, the more life slips through your fingers. But when you let go, when you stop fighting, stop resisting, stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you give yourself the chance to truly live. You find freedom in surrender. So, take a deep breath. Release the weight you've been carrying. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And watch as the world opens up in ways you never imagined. Let go and live.
$150,000 people died yesterday. Do you actually get that? And you are still here. And you can't find something to be grateful for? You're still complaining about teeny tiny little struggles. But I bet that if it was possible to give an option to all 150,000 people, all of them would gladly change places with you right now. You're alive, your heart is beating, you have food, water, shelter, clothing, a few people that love you. You have so much to be grateful for. You have to learn to stop focusing on what you don't have and start focusing on what you do have. Because life isn't about having what you want, it's about being grateful for and wanting what you already have.
Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know, what do you want? What should the universe give you now? So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk, it aligns with what I think, it aligns with what my actions do, it aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. When everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. Go fail more. Go fail more. Forget them. Those people on the sideline that are saying the thumbs down or calling you something or being snarky, they're on the sidelines for a reason.
Freud said once, in retrospect, the struggle will strike you as most beautiful. Like the years of struggle will strike you as most beautiful. And it's true, you think about the worst moments of your life from earlier. Now they're integrated into who you are. And in some ways we understand that we couldn't and wouldn't be where we are without those things. We know not only is that true in a positive way, but it's also just true in how the mind works. Like the mind is really good at, this is what cognitive dissonance does. It works on you in a way that makes this thing for the best, even if it wasn't for the best. Like we're still worried about, will I regret it? You won't regret it because you actually don't have that many regrets at all. The mind is pretty good at minimizing that feeling of regret. We convince ourselves that what happened was for the best. So we know this is almost certainly where we're going to end up in 6 months, in a year, in 10 years, in 30 years. And so why torture yourself in the interim, right? Why not give yourself some of that grace now?
Anxiety is literally nothing more than you thinking about something in the future and thinking about it in a manner where it starts to sound an alarm in your body. First of all, if you catch yourself worrying, if you catch yourself out in the future catastrophizing, if you catch yourself in that, what if this, what if that, if you let your thoughts spin, it will spin you out of control and then you're going to start to feel anxious. And so you want to count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one of the best, most effective things you can insert as a different pattern is this. What if it all works out? What if it all works out? What if I get on this plane and even though it's bumpy, it still lands and it all works out? Because you can't argue with that. If you can stabilize your thoughts, your body settles down and it doesn't escalate. So you're going to interrupt the worry, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you insert something else. You can also say this moment will pass. You can say I can handle this, but you've got to interrupt those thoughts and insert something else.
And familiar feels safe. We are programmed every day to seek safety. Programmed to avoid discomfort because it's safe. Programmed to stay small because it's safe. Programmed to play victim because it's safe. Programmed to seek validation because it's safe. Programmed to repel money because it's safe. We are programmed from the moment that we were born, to our childhood environment, to the people that we hang out with, to the music that we listen to the news that we watch, to the television shows that we binge. We are programmed to seek safety. But it is your responsibility to take ownership over your programming, or else you're going to live life asleep. And what's the point of that?
The energy that you give is the energy that you get. And that's with everything, that's with your mentality, that's with the things that you say, that's with the people that you hang out with. So it's so important that you surround yourself with people that's going to fill you with life and things that's going to fill you with life, and don't do things that's going to take life out of you. Make sure that your vibration is high, your energy is high, that your energy and efforts and your mentality is in a great spot. I mean, and most days are going to be good than bad.
right? You have to learn how to embrace where you are with the bigger vision and the bigger picture in your heart and in your mind, right? That's the point of a vision. A vision is to help you see past the current circumstance, right? So if you're in a tough situation, right, or in a tough circumstance, what having a vision for your life does is it helps you to see past that. I know that where I'm at is just a stepping stone. It's just a moment in time in a greater vision.
Exercise more, push more magic into the marketplace, give more value to people, read more books. It's harder to keep on pushing, but that's what legendary is. See, the great legends are the ones that are at the top of the mountain and they keep on trying to get better. So I suggest to you with great respect that nothing fails like success.
Just a friendly reminder that sometimes, a lot of the time, self-love is just doing things you don't really want to do, but you know are good for you, and then trying to be kind to yourself in the process. Over and over and over and over and over again.
Excuses will destroy you and take everything that you ever wanted from you, if you let them.
The ability or the belief to believe in yourself to accomplish any task, no matter the odds, no matter the difficulty, no matter the adversity. The belief that you can accomplish it. Self-confidence.
You wait to be perfect before you start. You may never start. Excellence is a process. It happens when you do your best over and over again. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You don't have to be perfect to appreciate yourself. You don't even have to be perfect to be loved or to love.
You could all tightrope walk. You could walk down a straight line without worrying about anything, but you take that exact straight line and put it 20-story high and you remove the balconies, you're gonna be so concerned about the idea of falling that it will make you fall, and that's where the superpower is, in removing the fear.
People get frustrated not achieving what they want because they assume that they're going to jump across a cavern in one leap. But if you picture your goals like you're trying to build a bridge across that crevice, and every brick that you put on that bridge is progress, and each one of those bricks represents a skill that you need to learn along the way. It just takes all the way until you get to the other side that you can actually walk across. And so the walking across is the outcome, it's the external perceived achievement.
The best way to avoid burning out is to stop living someone else's dream, is to stop waking up every morning to help them fulfill their vision and their goals and their dreams. And you start working towards yours.
To be a human being in this world means inevitably we feel pain. We all go through this. We all have moments of loneliness, of depression, of feeling like we don't have a purpose in life, of being aimless, of not having energy, of being depressed, etc., etc. And when we have these moods, we try to explain them. Well, yeah, maybe it's because I woke up this morning, or because something happened earlier the day before, or something in my child, something's wrong. But I want to tell you, the source of your pain is your social life. It's the fact people are the source of your pain, that you misunderstand them, that you misread them, that you're constantly bumping into them and having these problems and these issues that I mentioned. That is why you feel lonely. That is why it's draining you. All of this turmoil, all of these emotions are draining you of your energy, and it's making you listless. It is making you confused.
And people might say, yeah, but what's the point of this growing? What do you mean by growing? Why would I always need to accept every challenge just for the sake of growing? Because this growing is the opposite of something is decreasing, something is dying, something is closing up. To grow, to open up, is the same as to bring light into the things.
Every decision matters. With every decision you make, you are either moving closer or farther from your destination. Every single one, no matter how small it may seem. Deciding whether to sleep in or not, go to the gym or not, eat at McDonald's or not. It all contributes to either progression or regression. It is important to note that the more consecutive good or bad decisions you make will exponentially increase their impact. If you continue to make bad decisions, your state of being will decrease drastically. Likewise, if you continue to make good decisions, your life will drastically improve. Therefore, do not underestimate the power your gift of choice bears.
Every season has an expiration date on both sides. With grief, that will come to a close and you'll be okay on the other side. But then also your good times will also have an expiration date. So learn to be really grateful for those good times. That's been the biggest lesson for me. Let go of control and accept the things that happen to you and then learn to love them. I have to learn to love it. I don't have to understand what happened, but I have to learn to love that this is my experience and it's a part of it. And all I can do is move through it to the other side.
Which do you think is more important? More positive thinking or less negative thinking? Which is more important? Where do you get the most mileage? It's less negative thinking. About 70% of our negative thinking goes unperceived by us. It is so embedded. Positive thinking is important. You keep it up, keep it high. But if you want to get your real mileage, just cut down on the negative thinking. Cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. That's the villain voice. That's the critic in your head. That's the demotivator. That's the discounter. That's the one that raises the doubts. It takes practice. It takes some discipline. But you can shut it up.
And you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing. In other words, if the outcome changes, does it change who you are, what you said, and what you seek to accomplish? Because for most of us, when we don't get what we want, a champion is made on the other side of I don't feel like it. Right? Everybody that gets up every single day, they might not feel like it. But there's certain cats that's gonna embrace it and figure out a way to get better. There's other cats gonna retreat, they're gonna quit, and they're gonna settle into mediocrity.
The thing that they all have, all the great ones have, they have this unstoppable belief in themselves. And even if they lose, they learn. They lose, they learn, they come back, they get better.
But you have these like missions that you have to complete to get to the next level. And then when you go through your day, people distract you. There's loads of distractions. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? They're just there to sway you off your path of what you woke up in the morning to think and to do to get you to the next level of your game.
Everyone has the possibility to unlock something very, very special about him or herself. And it's up to your actions. Ultimately, it's you yourself who also is able to unlock it.
Why do you listen when your boss tells you to do something, but you couldn't care less when you tell yourself to do something? Why do you have an alarm set to get to work on time, but there's no alarm to show up for yourself on time? You know, there's obvious consequences when you don't do what you're supposed to at your job. But how do you not see the consequences of poor self-respect? Tell yourself to do things and do them. And listen because you said so, nobody else. That is the key to overcoming yourself.
It's taken you your whole life to become the person that you are today. So don't get upset with yourself if becoming an entirely new person doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey, an adventure, not some project you can knock out in a couple of days.
You have to be singular, inflexible, unyielding in your own work so that even the struggle, that very struggle to achieve, becomes its own reward. A hard, simple ability to continue is a kind of blessing. The world may think of it as an obsession here. Besides being sentimental, it's beside the point. Dreaming is a way of trivializing the process, the obsession that carries you through the failure as well as the successes, which could be harder to get through. I mean, if you're dreaming, you're sleeping, and it's important. It's an imperative to always be awake to your feelings, your possibilities, your ambitions, and don't get hung up on the consequences, because they can be good, like awards, success, and even celebrity, and they can be bad, like no awards, no success, and no celebrity.
You talk to the creator of the universe before birth and pick the person you get to become. You say, I want to be the most courageous. The creator replies and says, well, then I will give you monsters to terrify you so that you can conquer them. And you say, well, I want to be patient. Well, then I will make you work harder and longer so you can learn to wait. I want to be wise. And the creator replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so you can learn the value of judgment. You then say, sounds like a rough life. Can you give me a good life? Creator replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer it took to make you. A good life isn't a life that's easy. A good life is a life that makes you into a good person. And that, my son, is a hard life.
There's not a single individual in this room to their path to greatness that hasn't left friends behind, that haven't left individuals behind. We outgrow certain individuals. We outgrow the way they think. We outgrow the way they act. We try to bring them along with us, but some of us just don't have the ability to do that. And you spend so much time on them that you forget to chase your own dreams.
When you gonna start doing it for you? When you gonna start going after your success for you and stop thinking you need everybody else around you? You don't need their support. You don't need their love. You don't need their respect. The only love, respect that you need is yours. You need to do it for you. This is a season of your life you need to be doing it for yourself. You need to be getting your health right, getting your body right. Understand that life don't go nowhere without your action.
Being alone is a harsh necessity, and if I'm fully transparent, I'd say most of my life was defined by just that. It's not that there weren't people around me, but I got to a certain point in growing up where I was almost certain that nobody would ever understand. You see, to be alone is very hard, and it's a constant pursuit in my life to get further from that, but I retain moments of embracing isolation because it's my opportunity to speak to the only person that is always on the same page, me.
You'll never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to take that leap. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow. If you want to change your life, you must make a decision to change your life.
Learn to become still and to take your attention away from what you don't want and all the emotional charge around it, and place the attention on what you wish to experience. Energy flows where attention goes. You can begin right now to feel healthy. You can begin to feel prosperous. You can begin to feel the love that's surrounding you, even if it's not there. And what will happen is the universe will correspond to the nature of your song. The universe will correspond to the nature of that inner feeling and manifest, because that's the way you feel.
It's never too late. Don't listen to these people who want to put you in a box. Don't listen to them. Be you.
Remember, you won't get everything you want. Simply sometimes it hails on your crop and rains on your parade. It's that kind of planet. You must learn to handle the negative. Don't ignore it, handle it.
Avoidance is just another form of fear. It's easier to run or to distract yourself, but that doesn't get you where you need to be. The real courage comes when you decide to face it head on. The discomfort doesn't disappear. You teach your body and mind that you're in control. Each time you face what you've been avoiding, you prove to yourself that you're not powerless. No more delaying, no more hiding. It's all part of the journey. This is your time to make it happen.
And what's the worst that can happen? We live in so much fear. We live in so much
so much trepidation because we're worried about pain or frustration, yet we've experienced pain and frustration, and yet here we are, we're still here. What's the worst that can happen? Real interesting thing is, what if you don't do what it is that you want to do, and you never know what can happen? Because what can happen is what you dream about.
The hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. Now, once people understand that they're going to be uncomfortable, then the question is, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? What behaviors will you demonstrate in one day? And the act of closing your eyes and rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it.
Whatever you're thinking about, that's who you will become, because thoughts lead to actions, actions lead to habits, habits lead to lifestyle, and that lifestyle is what dictates who you are.
Here's the reality. Bad days are in store for all of us. It's guaranteed. It's the circle of life. So the question we need to ask ourselves is it really worth wasting perfectly good days fearing the bad ones?